Hi, and thank you for signing up for Clarity Now. We're going to walk you through a series of videos that will help you get set up and onboarded and ultimately using and becoming successful with the platform. The first video that we're going to talk about is the initial setup phase, where we're going to walk you through and show you how to go from setting up your account and also how to find the knowledge base and support for any help and trainings that you may need. Let's get started. All right, so I am logged into my account for the very first time, and this is the first thing you're going to see is welcome to Clarity Now. Go ahead and click on get started. And now it's going to take you to a couple of basic steps that we'll do together. The first thing we're going to go over is your business information. This is custom for every account. It's very, very simple to set up, only a couple of short questions, and this will ultimately impact the goal gap, which is a major feature within the platform. Three questions. One, on average, how many days does it take in your market to go from contract accepted to contract closed? I'm going to say it takes me 30 days in my market on average. Now, note, there's a question mark above all of these. If you're not sure what your answer is, hover over the question mark and just put what's in here. You can change this later. None of this is set in stone, so don't get caught up in whatever the answer is if you're unsure. The second is the ramp up period. This is how long does it take to go from listing agreement signed to day one on the market. So your photography, your staging, whatever it is that you do to prep and get a home ready for sale before it actually goes live. I'm going to say it takes me 10 days on average from listing agreement signed to getting it on the market. The last one is, what is your average days on market? Now, this changes dramatically from market to market, and it can change throughout the year, which is why this is actually a really neat feature because we can customize it throughout the year. For right now, I'm going to say that I have a lot of listings that sell quick, but I also have some that sit in the market for a while. I'm going to say the average in my market right now is 30 days. Click team information. All right, so now we're into your team members and team users. You can do this now or you can do this later. While we're here, might as well do it together. Okay, so here's the difference between team members and team users. You can read the description on the side if you want a little bit of a deeper example. Team members is anyone on your team who will receive compensation. So if you're an individual agent, you're probably going to be the only team member. If you have a team, put your agents in here. You don't need to put your admin in here or anyone else in the business unless they receive a split. So if you do pay your admin a bonus per transaction and you want that person to be able to get paid out on each unit, then put your team member here. If you're an individual agent, for most of us, it's going to be just yourself. And if you're a team, put your agents. Okay, so let's go ahead and say that I am a rainmaker. I do have a team and I have an agent. I'm going to say that Jeff Smith is an agent on my team. His email is jeff at, let's say, steelrealty.com. Okay, I'm going to add Jeff. Let's go ahead and add one more agent. I also have an agent on the team named Cindy Henning, and she is an agent as well. And her email is Cindy at steelrealty.com, add member. I have my members here. Now, when we get deeper into the system on the left-hand side, you'll see an opportunity to click back into your team section. If Cindy or Jeff were to leave the team, all I need to do is click the toggle switch to make them active or inactive. All right, now let's go ahead and add our users. Now I'm gonna click on invite user. Now, based on the type of account that you signed up for, whether you have an individual account or a team account, when I click this, your team members above should appear. I'm on a demo account, so I have to still type this in. But again, if you're on an agent, if you're on a team account, the team members that you entered above, for example, Jeff and Cindy, will automatically appear. Again, I'm going to type it in. So I'm going to say that Jeff Smith is an agent. It is Jeff at steelrealty.com and role. I need to add Jeff as an agent. Agents have the ability to create their own Clarity Now portal. So I'm going to click agent and hit invite user. And that is what is going to give Jeff his very own portal. I'm going to click invite. And that is now a success. I want to do the same thing for Cindy, new user. And again, your account will most likely already have those names there. Cindy Henning. And it is going to be Cindy at steelrealty.com. And I also want her to be an agent, invite user. Now, I also want to add my admin. So let's go ahead and say that my admin's name is Samantha Johnson. And her email is Samantha at steelrealty.com. And I want to add her as an editor or as a viewer. I'm going to make her an editor so she has her own login and she can edit my account. Now, note that editors and viewers are always free. So we only charge really based on how many agents you want to have. And you should already have that pricing based on the tier that you signed up for. So editors and viewers are no additional cost. I'm going to click editor. Now it's going to say, what is her role? Well, she is my admin. Invite. The last one that's really important for a lot of you out there is you also want to add our coach, right? So if you have a coach, you pay for a coaching company and you want to have someone to have access to your account so you guys can move forward in your business and they can have better insights to your numbers, we certainly want to add them too. So let's say I want to add Coach Roger. Coach Roger. All right. And it's Coach Roger at gmail.com. And I want to make Coach Roger a viewer. And I'm going to call Roger my coach, and I'm going to click invite user. Now what's going to happen is that all these people just got an email to accept their invitation to join your Clarity Now account. So it's very, very simple. So add your members, add who you want to give access to. Don't forget about your coach. Make sure you got the emails right, because that's going to be the email that they receive the email at and the email they'll log in at. So just make sure their email is correct. And that's it. Team members and team users are done. Very simple. Click on complete onboarding. All right. So now that you're done with the onboarding, it's going to ask you to create your economic model. This is, again, very simple, very straightforward. You can click on any year that you like. We're in 2024 at the time of this recording, so it's automatically selected for 2024. Click on create economic model. On every single one of these slides, you can click on walk me through this, and this will pop up where it can show you a video for every single question within the system. It explains it, and there's a video for that specific question. So there's no reason you should get stuck on this. Now, one thing to note again is that this is not set in stone. You can change these numbers, so don't get too caught up in what these numbers are if you're unsure. There's 3 statuses to choose from. I own a team, meaning I have additional salespeople. I'm a rainmaker. I'm on a team, which is a great status. So your team members now can have their own portal with their own, their own profitability. Or I'm an individual agent. Let's say that I own a team. The very first question, guys, is what do you want to net? You can change this. Don't get caught up on this. I'm going to say I want to net $300,000. And my average sales price is $275 where I live. And the average commission is 2.75%. Now, note, we already have a percentage in here, so you don't need to put a percentage sign. And don't put 6%. Don't put, one mistake people do is they'll put 0.025 because we're used to typing it into a calculator, right? And you'll notice here that your average commission is only $68 if that's the case. So put in the regular commission, 2.75%. My average commission check is $75.62. Listing information. If you don't know these answers, hover over the question mark and just put what is here. Don't get too caught up on this. What percentage of listing appointments that you go on will you get signed? Well, most of my stuff is fear-based. I'm going to say 85%. What percentage of listings that you take will result in a closing? I'm going to say 85%. And what percentage of my total overall business comes from listings? I'm going to say I'm mainly buyer focused, which most of you probably are. I'm going to put 40% listing based. Click on buyer information. Now it's going to be the same questions, but on the buy side. What percentage of buyer appointments that you go on will you get signed? If you don't know, just click on the question mark and type it in. I'm going to take that advice and say 70 and 70. Next, estimate your annual expenses. On average, how much do you spend per month on your business? So let's say, again, I'm a rainmaker. I have an admin. We already determined that. I have my listing photography. I have a coach. I have an office space. I'm going to say I spend somewhere around $13,000 every month to operate my business, which is approximately $156,000 a year. Okay, cost of sale. This first question is really important. Is there a maximum amount that you pay your broker? So for some companies, that would be called a cap. If you have a cap or if you have a maximum amount, what is that amount? Let's say that I do, and I spend $15,000 per year goes to my market center or goes to my broker. Does your company also have a franchise fee in addition to your broker split? Let's say the answer for me is yes, and that is an additional $3,000. If that's not the case for you, click no and say, no, there's not a cap. There's not a maximum amount. The question now will be, what percentage of every check goes to your broker? and average it out if yours is on a tier. So you could go ahead and say that on average, 15% of every single check goes to my broker. Again, I'm going to go ahead and say that I'm on a capping system and I have a $15,000 cap and a $3,000 franchise fee. Now, I selected that I'm a rainmaker. This screen right here is going to look different depending upon what you picked. Because I'm a rainmaker, it's asking me how many listings and how many buyers am I personally going to sell. Now, note what this is really asking is how many sales will there be no split paid on? So for most people that are rainmakers, all their revenue goes to the company and the owner, the rainmaker, makes the profitability of the business. Now, there's a lot of different ways that you guys can run your team, so that may not be true for all of you. If you do run a team where I'm the rainmaker, I sell a house, but I charge myself the same split as all of my agents, then that effectively means that there's not a single sale that I make where there's no split paid because I'm charging myself a split on every sale. Let's say in this case, I don't do that. I do it the way that most agents do who are rainmakers. I don't make a split. All the money goes to my company, and I'm going to sell 30 listings and maybe I'll do 6 buyers. What this is saying is, as a rainmaker, I'm signing up to sell 36 homes, but the rest has to come from my team. Now the question is, on average, what percentage do you pay your team members on listing sales? I'll say on average 35%. And on average, what do you pay your team on buyer sales? I'll put 50. Now, again, if you picked you're an individual agent, you won't even see this screen because there's nothing else. There's no other cost of sales and splits to worry about. If you're on a team, you won't see this question. You will see these questions, but it'll be worded differently. It will say, what is your split that you receive on a listing sale? And what is your split that you receive on a buyer sale on average? So this one page will look different depending upon the status that you selected. Go ahead and click next. Okay. Do you have an ISA department? Let's say that I don't. If you did, it would say what percentage of your total sales or ISA is going to get paid on. And on average, what percentage do they get paid on each closing? Again, I'm going to say that I don't. All right, how many referral fees do you intend on paying out? This includes lead sources too. I'm going to say I'll maybe do 4 referral fees for the year. And on average, I pay out 25%. Next. Do you pay a transaction fee to an admin on each closed listing? Let's say that I do. I have my admin, but and I pay her $100 bonus for every single transaction that she turns into a closing. I do that both on the listing side and the buyer side. Another way to think about this question is, are there any per transaction fees that occur? So if your broker or your market center charges a fee for every time you have a closing, that would all go in here. So it doesn't have to be exclusive to an admin. Is there any per transaction cost on the listing side and the buy side that you incur? This last question here is, what is the additional annual cost of sale? This is an annual number. What this really is, guys, is for the whole year, how much do you want to put in the bucket for you giving away your commission at the end of a transaction to get it to close? So an example that would be buyer and seller are arguing at the end of the transaction over the refrigerator not working. And you say, guys, I'll go ahead and just pay for a new refrigerator, just close. Right? For some of you, you'll say, I never do that. It's 0. For some of you say, I do that all the time. Let's put $5,000. Let's say I do that a couple times a year. I'm going to put $1,500 for the whole year. Okay. Seasonality is the last step. It's going to be auto set for you at 20, 30, 30, and 20. This is the percentage of your closings that happen during each quarter, during these months. If yours is different, change it. You can edit all this later. I'm going to leave it just as is, and I'm going to hit submit. All right, and that's it. My economic model is complete. So now I can see that if I want to net $300,000 with the metrics that we just put in together, I need to do 25.3 million for just short of 700,000 in GCI. It's going to be 92 closed units, which is 37 listing sales and 55 buyer sales. Remember, I signed up to do 30 listings and 6 buyers myself, which means the math shakes out that my team members need to do 7 listings and 49 buyers. So now I know what I need to go recruit to. My cost of sale is $240,000. That's my cap, my franchise fee, my agent compensation, my referral fees, my admin bonuses. I have almost a 34.5% cost of sale. 456 is my gross profit. I'm going to spend 156 on the business. That gets me back to my $300,000 net. my business will be 43% profitable. And based on the conversion ratios that I put in, here's the appointments that I will need to go on to ultimately sell the homes that the math shakes out. So when I look at this, I can say, perfect, that looks doable. Or I can say, I think we can do more than 92 sales. I think my team members will do more than 7 listings and 49 buyers. If that's the case for you, then great. Go ahead and click edit on the top right, and let's bump up this profit goal. Let's make that $400,000 and see how the math changes. I'm not going to change anything else. I'm going to keep everything else the exact same. I'm going to keep my production the same. I'm not changing anything but my profit goal. Clicking all the way through. And now to net $400,000, it's 116 units. And I'll need to have 16 listing sales and 64 buyer sales from my team. Let's say for me, that looks a lot better. I think we can do $32 million. I think we could do around 120 sales. That means my net profit goal is going to be somewhere around $400,000. Okay, so now we have set up your business information. We've done your team members, we've done your users, and we got your economic model set up. You're officially in the system. If you click on dashboard, you're set up. All you need now is to put data in the system for all the reporting to work. But let's say that you need some help. I do want to show you the 2 spots that you can go to get help. Either one, you can click down here in the chat box and you can send us a message, and this will go right to our team and they'll get back to you promptly. The other thing is click on this get help on the right-hand side. You can sign up for a live group training call. We do a group training call every single day if you need support. You can also click into the help center. If you click into the help center, we have everything broken down throughout the system. So if I need some more help on, gosh, how do I do my pipeline report? How to add a pipeline, sending a note to a team member, how to read and use the pipeline report. Maybe that's my question. I can click on that. And now there's going to be a video and a complete overview as to how to use the pipeline report. So this help center, this knowledge base is a great resource for you.